Okay. Mission 8, GAU-8 Avenger. DSMS, fence, range procedures, GAU-8. The reticles, pippers, strafes, and the CSMS. I'm Kermit again. Gonna be 62A and B and 63. Okay. 2 North Las Vegas. 5 here I'm going to. Oh, here I have Moapa, which is 11. Okay. Tank, bunker, orbit, IP, south. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna be using the F10 radio menu. Okay, we're gonna be doing some gunning. D55 for training rounds. Stores management, yep. Fence in, fence out. Countermeasures. Okay. So start up. Let's go. Pin in this one. Six times BDU 33. Okay. Training Mavericks. Training rounds. Minimum altitude 5,100 MSL. 1,500 ATL. Okay. Spin this one as well. Okay. So switch on my radios. Let's start with 33.3. 33.3. FM radio to fract frequency. Okay, so I need to start up number 1 first. Startup number 1. One is starting up. Okay. Swing on the P-8. This is all okay. Okay, my left engine is up, so I have power to the FM.
Task, check in. She's up on 5. Copy you, 5x5. Same. Dude, are you ready to do this? Shit, yeah, but no offense. I was getting a little bored with all the systems and stuff. Me too. But first, we have to learn how to fly and navigate the jet before we can put warheads on foreheads, make the enemy die for his country, turn those assholes into hair, teeth, and eyeballs, and all of that other oorah shit.
Funny.
I can't wait.
Start to.
But before we can do that, let's go ahead and press on with the startup. Just let me know when you're ready for taxi, but stand by in that taxi clearance. There's some things we're going to want to cover while we're still in the shock. Raj.
DSMS has been entered. Continue. When you're ready to taxi, contact Biv on FM. You will have an option to skip the DSMS training on the ground. No, we're not doing that. We're going through the DSMS training. Number 2 is running. Okay. Alignment is going. Let's set up our kneeboard. Frequencies. MDC. Okay, 63B. Bunkers, north of IP, Moapa. Here it is. Couldn't find it the last mission. Okay. Let's close this one. Let's have a look at the settle. 0202. Okay, set. What else do I have to set? Rotation 127. Okay, let's go for the 80s. Do we have an 80s here? 1270.1.
Expect visual approach. Acknowledge receipt of information Romeo and advise aircraft type on first contact. Nellis Air Force Base information Romeo, time 2055. Winds calm. Visibility greater than 10 miles. Scattered 7,000 feet. Temperature 41. Dew point 13. Altimeter 3037. Runways in use 03 left, 03 right. Expect visual approach.
Okay.
Acknowledge receipt of information Romeo and advise aircraft type on first contact. Nellis Air Force Base information Romeo, time 2055. Winds calm. Visibility greater than 10 miles. Scattered 7,000 feet. Temperature 41.
A little bit smaller.
Dew point 13. Altimeter 3037. Runways in use 03 left, 03 right. Expect visual approach. Acknowledge receipt of information Romeo and advise.
So, can switch off number 3. What's this? Gun unsafe. What's gun unsafe? Training. So I guess he's gonna explain this to me. Of course I have no idea what this means. Let's continue. Put the anti-skid. Stabilization. Put my takeoff trim. Okay. Release environment. Done. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
Okay, good jet, ready for taxi. Cool. So for today, we're going to get a brief overview on a few things here in the chocks, but we're not going to spend too much time on this. We'll head out and drive toward the range. En route, we'll cover how I want you to finish in and out in the Charlie. Then we'll cover how to check into and out of the live firing ranges, plus the rules and procedures for employing at the range. If everything goes well up to that point, we'll get some time on the trigger and expend some 30 mil. I've been waiting for this. It's been a while since I've got on the gun and smelled cordite in the pit. There's nothing like it and it never really leaves you. I can think of worse ways to spend a fine summer's day. So on to business, shall we? Let's do it. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to draw your attention to is the DSMS, or Digital Stores Management System. DSMS replaces the armament control panel you're familiar with in the A-10A. If you don't mind, on the left MFCB, press OSB 14 to get us into the DSMS page, and we'll move forward.
Okay.
Okay, I'm now on the DSMS page.
In the DSMS.
Cool, provided you didn't press anything else, we should be looking at the DSMS main page. Here we can see some of the basic information regarding what stores we're carrying for today's sortie. DSMS is the construct that allows us to view and change most things weapons related. The other thing we'll use for that stuff is the IFFCC. We'll have a brief look at the IFFCC today, but we're mostly just going to stick to the DSMS. At its most basic level, DSMS tells us what we're carrying, where we're carrying it, how many we have, and the status of each weapon. DSMS also allows us to create and save up to 20 unique profiles. When we select a weapon to employ, we're actually selecting a specific profile for that weapon and not the bomb or rocket itself, so to speak. Not sure I'm 100% on that. Can you explain it a little better? Sure. So if we're carrying Mark 82 Air, we'll have only the one default profile when we load the DCS, and that profile is for high drag, CCIP, no safe escape maneuver, etc. With DSMS, we can build numerous profiles for that one bomb. We can have a ready-made profile for high drag and another for low drag, CCIP, CCRP, so on and so forth. Once that profile is built and saved without doing anything else, we can simply activate which profile we want using CMS left or right if the HUD is soy, and drop it in high or low drag configuration with just
Yeah, I got it.
For sure. I'm tracking now. Awesome. I'm not going to tell you every scenario where you'd want, but take advantage of it when you can. If you want to have different view settings, profiles for different sleds, or even a ripple pairs profile, then you may want to consider building profiles to suit those needs. Roger. That seems handy enough. Indeed. Within DSMS here we have 4 primary pages and numerous subpages. The 4 primary pages are the missile control page, which of course controls our missiles. The selective jettison page, which allows us some options when it comes to what we jettison and how we'll do it. The inventory select page lets us mess with the inventory on a station-by-station basis. It also allows us to access some handy options for some of our munitions like CBUs and LGBs. And lastly, we have the status page, which we're on now, or we should be. Verify that you're on the status page by confirming that you do not see stat under OSB 1.
Okay, confirm.
Yep, I'm on the status page. Word. So the status page will show us what is loaded on each of our 11 stations and the status of each weapon, as well as the remaining round count and status of the gun. Our active profiles, release settings, and EO time for the 65s, if the maps are active, are also displayed here. Each station number is on the outer edge of each box. Starting in the bottom left, we have Station 1, and all the way over on the bottom right, next to OSB 10, we have Station 11. Looking at Station 8, next to OSB 7, we see BDU 33 on the top line inside of the box. This indicates that we are carrying BDU 33s on that station. Under that, we see TER, signifying that they are being carried on through 42 triple ejector rack. And on the inside of that box, we see 3, which says there are 3 bombs remaining on that station. You still awake?
Yeah, dude, I'm awake.
Oh yeah, hanging on every word. I believe it. Down in the bottom center, we should see 1150 TP, indicating that we have 1,150 rounds of training ammo remaining. Also notice the text is green and there are no red or nasty messages like a bunch of X's, which means our gun is FMC or good to go, whereas the X's indicate your gun's bent. In the center of the display, we should see guns and weapons off in a white box. Gun signifies which HUD mode we are in, and weapons off means that our master arm switch is off. Does all that look about right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm mirroring you so far. Great, press the mode button on the stick to cycle to the different master modes and you'll see that change.
I just did
Also,
that.
putting the master arm switch down will put us into training mode, which will say weapons off, but in a nice pretty blue box, and you'll get another blue outline box with text that says training up above it. Flipping the switch into the arm position will show weapons off, just in a green box, and ground safe up above it, since we have the ground safety override switch in the off position.
Yep. And the ground safety is over here. So there we go.
What's with the weapons off if the master arm is armed? Well, that's because we don't have a weapons profile selected. If we did, you'd see that profile name where it says weapons off. Take note, it will say the profile name and not the weapon type unless they are the same. So from my example earlier, I'd either see that 82LD or 82HD, not Mark 82 APO.
Yep. Okay.
Right on. Backing up a bit again, that line under each box, under the weapon type, like where it says turn on Station 8, can also give a status, like on JDAMs and Wickman. It can also not say anything at all, just depending on what's on that station.
Okay.
Roger. Click OSB1 for me to take us into the profile. Alright, I'm in the profiles page. Excellent. Currently we only have 3 profiles. One for the Mavericks, one for the BDUs, and one for the Rockets. Note that we are carrying one each GDM-65 Delta and Hotel. This profile applies for all maps. And even though we're carrying caps, there's
Hotel
no
and
profile
Delta.
settings for sidewinders.
Yep. Got it.
Noted. On the left of the page, you'll see an up and down arrow next to OSB 19 and 20. Use those to select the profile that you want to look at. So press down to get us over to the BDU 33 profile.
Okay.
Okay, I've got the arrow next to it. Good, so now we should see a few options here. At OSB 3 we have view profile. OSB 9 allows us to turn the profile on or off. And at OSB 17 we have an option to activate that profile. Are you seeing the same thing?
Activate. Profile off. Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Affirm.
And we can move it.
Beautiful. Okay, so turning the profile on and off does just that. With it on, while cycling through our weapons profiles, we'll see it and can use it. If we turn it off, we won't be able to select it and employ that profile, and it won't be there when we're scrolling through our profiles unless we turn it back on. ACT Pro is what activates the profile or turns it back on for employment. Make sense?
That makes
Yep,
sense.
making sense so far. Alright, go ahead and hit OSB 3 for me. We should now find ourselves in the BDU 33 weapons profile page, yes? Roger. Very nice. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is the profile table. The table displays the release parameters for that profile. Note that the parameters you see within this table that are not underlined can only be adjusted within the inventory page, which we'll look at here in a bit. Understood? Below this table you'll see 11 little boxes. Each box represents a station, and the green boxes you see for stations 4 to 8 indicate that we have BDUs on those stations. Back up at the top we see selections at OSB 1 and 2 that will take us back to the DSMS status page and the main profile pages respectively.
Yep, got it.
Copy. So, on the right we see options for ripple settings, fusing, and release modes at OSB 6, 7, and 10. Press OSB 6 for me 6 times, please. As you press it, you'll see it cycle through singles, pairs, ripple singles, ripple pairs, and you should wind up on ripple singles. Stop here, we see that we now have options to adjust the ripple quantity and the release spacing intervals. Also at the top next to OSB 3, we should now have a save option, which should be flashing. Does that all jive with what you've got?
Yep. Hey,
I'm
fine.
jiving so hard. Good to hear. Press OSB 16 for me labeled CHGSET for change profile settings.
Sorry, what? Change settings, okay. So where do we do that there? Okay.
Okay, I'm in another page now. That's what we wanted. Okay, so here we can adjust some more things, like our safe escape maneuvers, desired time of flight, and minimum time of fall, and some other values for rack delay, vertical and lateral offsets, and eject velocity. We'll get a little deeper into a lot of this stuff when the time comes, but for now, just hit OSB 3 to save that profile, then hit OSB 1 again to get back Let me know once you're there. Okay, I'm back on the status page. Right on. Now press OSP 5, and this should take us to the inventory page. Here, you can manually input information on what is loaded on that station and adjust settings for some of our munitions. So, let's tell the jet we have a G12 on station 6. Let me know when you're on the inventory page and ready to go.
Sorry, he wants me to do what? Let's tell the jet we have a G12 on station 6. G12, what is a G12? Six. Pylon. Let's say. G12, is it a GBU12? G12? GBU12. Okay. Load.
Okay, I'm there and ready to press. Nice. Press OSB 3 for me. Once you've done that, you'll find yourself in the inventory select page, yes?
OSB 6 to go towards the inventory, and let's go back. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so one nice thing about DSMS is that it knows what we can put on that station and what we can't. For instance, here on Station 6, there is no option to load a map or a Wickman. For this example, though, we're going to load a GBU-12. So, looking on the right side, we see GBU next to 6. Inside of that page, we have options for GBU-10 and 12. Press OSB 19 for GBU-12, and give me a heads up when you're that far.
GBU. We have 10 and 12. Oh, I did that already. Okay. OSB 19. GBU 12. Okay.
Looks like I'm in the GBU-12 inventory page. Perfect. Here we can see all kinds of options for fuses, CCG series, etc. We're only going to worry about the PRF here. So remember how in the profile table we had things that were not underlined that had to be changed inside of the inventory page? PRF is one of them. Hey, you're not as stupid as you look. Not the first time I've heard that. I'm not surprised. So, using the UFC, let's type in 1121 and then press OSB 7 to input that.
Sorry, what? 1121 and then press OSB 7. Where is OSB 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then where do we go? An OSB number here? No, there's no numbers. Okay. 1121. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, 6, 7. Oh, the laser code. The
Yep. Excellent. Press OSB9 to load that into DSMS. Okay, I've done that, and I get a DSMS stat page, and my GBU is red on station 6. Yep, that's what we want. What you're seeing is a jet letting you know that something's not correct. It knows there is no GBU-12 on that station. You should also see a red I at the top also. Is that correct?
affirm.
Yeah, above the weapon station box. Yes, that is a failure code which replaces the station number normally in that spot. You can also see an H, P, and F. I indicates a mismatch between the profile and the inventory. H signifies a hung store. F is a station fault, and P means there is no profile for that weapon loaded on the station.
Okay. H is hung store, F is a fault, P is no profile.
Copy. Alright, hit OSB1 and get back to the status page. Then press OSB5 again to go back into the inventory select page and go to our station 6. In OSB5 you'll see an option to clear that station. Go ahead and do that to clear out our mistake. This should take you back to the main inventory page and you'll see nothing in station 6. Done. And station 6 shows empty. Word. Okay, if you haven't already done so on the AHCP, put the TGP switch into the on position to power up the targeting pod. If you're just now applying power to it, it will take a few minutes to come online. Bring up the TGP page on one of your MFCs and let me know once it's powered up. When it is, you should see a blank page with options at the top for control, air to ground, etc. Let me know when we're on the same page, so to speak.
Okay, so now we have to wait for the TGP to warm up. Meanwhile, I can have a look at my map and my flight plan. One 11. Oh, we're going there. Okay. Yep, got it. It's warming up. Magnetic variation doesn't work. Okay. Yep. It's start.
Okay, it looks like the pod is powered up now. Excellent. Right now the pod is powered up, but in standby mode as indicated by the green box and jumping SY underneath OS 3. In standby mode, the ball will show itself facing backwards, and you'll not get video or anything else from the targeting pod. To enable the pod, simply press OS 2 or 4 to put it into air-to-ground or air-to-air mode respectively. Go ahead and put it in air-to-ground mode for me.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like things have happened. Yep, that's what we're looking for. You should now see video from the pod and a lot of other stuff we'll get into later. Go ahead and put the pod back into standby mode, and when ready, we'll go over the last thing in the chocks for today. Pod is in standby, and I'm ready to press. Good deal. So the last thing we're going to discuss before we roll out, be it briefly, is the CMS.
Okay.
As you'd imagine, the countermeasure systems are very important to our survivability in non-permissive environments. The Charlie has an outstanding defensive system. The CMSP and CMSC are carryovers from the Suite 2A model, but here in the Charlie on top of that, we also have the MWS, or Missile Warning System. I imagine the MWS is a huge asset. Damn right it is. I've heard from a few bros that have saved their bacon downrange. Just remember though that it is not omniscient. It does have its blind spots and shortcomings, but using it as a supplement to you and your wingman's odds, it should make it that much harder to kill. Roger. So, looking forward, the first things you'll see are the
What's this
CMSC
thing?
countermeasures set control just under the USC and the RWR to the left of that. Now on the right console, ahead of the caution light panel, you'll find the countermeasures signal processor. This controls all of your defensive systems. It also allows you to alter your defense programs, control how the systems react to threats, tell you how much chaff and flare you have left, and other shit. So is this like DSMS, but for your chaff and flare and things? Yeah. Well, sorta yes and sorta no. There's not a whole awful lot we can do here compared to the things we can do with the DSMS, but it definitely has some flexibility. Suffice it to say, the system does not leave a lot to be desired. Understood. I'm sure it'll become clear once I start using it in practice. Oh, for sure. Most things in this jet are very intuitive. It seems that way the more I learn about the Charlie and its systems. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Okay, so back at it. CMSP. On the bottom right corner of that panel, you'll find the gray mode selector dial. Place that bitch into the standby position.
The bitch. Yeah, I've done that.
Alright, CMS is up and standby. Alright, looking at the screen at the top called the alphanumeric display, you should see it displaying MWS, jammer, RWR, and dispensers indicating off when you turn it off. After a brief pause, it will default to a screen that shows your countermeasures count and stuff. Is that what you've got?
Okay. There we go. Yep, that's what I got.
Hey firm, go ahead and move the MWS, RWR, and dispenser system selected switches into their on positions, please. As you do this, you should see each of them say ready. Give me a heads up when you are ready to press. One thing I forgot to mention, or rather, two things. We leave the laser unarmed on the TGP and the jammer switch in the off position here on the ramp, as they have the potential to do bad things to the sweaty. Dad. Switches are set. On the alphanumeric display, you should again see the counters for your chaff and flare. Next to flare, you have OTR1, which does not concern us, and finally, our currently selected countermeasures program. In our case, we should see A above it.
Yep.
That's what I'm seeing. Excellent. Again, closely tied to the CMSP is a radar warning receiver and CMSC, both of which are located on the front dash. The CMSC repeats some of the info found on the CMSP and adds a bit more. But for now, that's going to have to be the limit of our discussion on the countermeasures system as we're running a bit behind. Roger that. Sorry if I'm slowing us down. Nope, not at all. I have a tendency of talking a bit too much, so it's my fault. So with that being said, let's grab ATIS and get rolling. Once you've got it, give me a heads up. Roger.
Oh, we got ATIS.
Please and thank you. Also, I'm not sure if I've told you, but we're looking for IFR to dog bone. Raj, stand by on 289er put for it.
Tune to correct clearance delivery. Clearance delivery 289.4.
Nellis clearance, tough 2. Tusk 2, go ahead for clearance. Tusk 2 is IFR to dogbone.
IFR to what?
Tusk 2 clearance, clear to dogbone via the fighter for departure as filed. Expect range entry through 63 Bravo. Climb and maintain Angels 14 departure on 385.4 squawk 4004. Clearance, Tusk 2 is cleared to dogbone via fighter for departure. Range entry expected to be via 63 Bravo. Climb and maintain Angels 14. Departure on 385.4 squawk 4004. Thanks. Tusk 2, read back corrected. Contact ground on 275.8. See ya. Still with me, boss? Yep. Roger, push ground.
Tune to correct frequency for ground. Okay, let's first look at the departure plates because I didn't get all that. So there is no departure plate. So we're going to ground. .275.8.
Nellis ground, Tusk 2 is 2 A-10s at Thunder with Romeo, ready for taxi to 03 right. Tusk 2 ground, Romeo's current, cleared Charlie Golf Alpha, hold short 03 right. Ground, Tusk 2 taxi Charlie Golf Alpha, hold short 03 right. Let's do it.
03 right. Hold short 03 right. Okay, brakes checked.
One's rolling.
So I've got bad frames. Let's just see if I can make my frames a little bit better. Not certain if there's anything I can switch down. Put this down. That's the only thing. Okay. Go function position.
Rolling.
It's about time. Some areas looking nice. Whoa. Okay.
Contact Nellis Tower 327.7. Tower on 327.7 for Tusk 2. Switch to tower. 2. You ready? Give me 1 second.
Why, what are you doing? Oh, there he is.
Man, there's something sinister looking about buffs with loaded shoulder pylons. Especially when they're calcums. Yeah, no shit. That usually means something's getting ready to pop off. Exactly.
Why is the gun unsafe? I don't get it. This is the screen. I wonder if he's gonna run into me if I stay here. 327.7. This is tower. I don't know. set my pressure. 3037.
Alright, two's ready.
Yeah, okay, dude. Tower.
Dallas Tower, Tusk 2, holding 03 right, ready for departure. Tusk 2, Winscom, cleared for takeoff, runway 3 right. Tusk 2, clear for takeoff,
On
03 right.
stage of flaps. Let's try and look at my controls real quickly. Okay. Looks clear. Runner up. 90 in the green. Okay, release. One, two, 9, rotate. Okay, gear up. Flaps up. Set for waypoint 1. Nothing going on over there.
Tusk 2, Dallas Tower, contact departure 385.4. Departure of 385.4, Tusk 2.
385.4.
Radar contact continues to right for fighter. Climb and maintain angles 1-4. Departure, Tusk 2, proceed direct to fighter. Climb and maintain angles 14.
Oh. What did he say? Direct to what? Well, I'm going to follow my flight plan. I don't know if it's correct. Two. Okay. Waypoint 3. And one is, 2 is still waiting down there. Okay.
Alright, ready to pick up the training while we should have a few minutes? Yep, let's start that right-hand turn for fighter and go ahead with the lesson.
Fighter, okay. But it's not. So the text was not very clear.
We'll start out with fence checks. To rehash what I'm sure you already know, fence is an acronym that stands for fire control, electronic warfare, navigation, communication systems, and lastly, measures. Again, I know you know all this, but with all the new Gucci shit in Charlie, there's going to be different stuff to check.
Okay.
Fair enough. You may proceed. Thanks. Okay. So we're just going to go through the steps here so don't actually flip any switches. We'll do that when we get a little bit closer to range. As I was saying, what you actually do fencing in and out is different than what you're used to in the Alpha. In the Charlie for F, we're going to arm the master arm pack for the gun, power up the mav, and arm the laser for the TGC.
In Charlie for F, we're gonna arm the master arm pack, power up the mav, and arm the laser. Yep.
Cool. And we're all set up the CMS for use, like selecting modes, profiles, camera settings, etc.
Okay.
Gotcha. For N, we ensure that our navigation systems are good to go. This would include things like the TAD map being centered and scaled, hooks and TAD set as required, saddle, Iggy, AAP, and CDU all working and configured as required. So good so far? Yep. C is for communications. Here we look at each of our radios, making sure that they are set accordingly, and also the KY-58 if we're using it. last is going to be anything that emits for E. This is going to be things like external lights and TACU. Copy all.
Okay, let's slow down. 200 for the rejoin. Wow, that makes a big difference. This shit, this mod. Off, on. Okay. Okay. So he's doing the same heading as me. 266. 7 miles south of east of me. He's behind me. Now it's okay, the frame rate. Now let's just increase my details. Not much of a difference. Unknown, I don't know what's over there. It's another airport. So we're about to pass FYYTR. Fighter. Ready to make my turn. And my turn.
All right.
6. Why did I do that? Maybe 6. There is 2. Let's gain some altitude. Let's get on.
Cross 2, Nelson departure. Contact Blackjack on 377.8. Contact Blackjack 3778 for Tusk 2. 2, go to 377.8. Roger, I'm there.
Okay.
Blackjack, Tusk 2 with you at Angels 14, just past the fighter as fragged.
Tusk 2, entry approved via 6-3 Bravo, enter at Fort Outpost. You guys are cleared at the range from now until 1430 local. Helicopter traffic 15 miles due northeast.
Blackjack, Tusk, enter 6-3 Bravo and fly direct to dog mode until 1400. We'll keep an eye out for traffic.
Tusk 2, Blackjack, you guys are cleared at the range up until 1430. Everything else was correct though.
1430, Tusk 2.
1430, yeah, that works with the clock that's set like this. Okay, anyways, just fly towards 6. Where is he? Oh, there you are.
Alright, putting what we just learned into practice, let's fence in together step by step. Ready?
Yep, ready.
Let's do it. Okay, actually flipping switches this time. Fire control. Master arm, arm. Laser arm, arm. Gun pack, arm. Mav EO power on. And let me know once you've got that accomplished.
Mav EO power on.
Done. Electronic warfare, jammer, RWR, MWS, and dispensers all on. Mode set to manual, semi-auto, or auto as desired.
Manual.
Countermeasures profile and ECM mode selected as required.
Let's just leave it like this.
Alright, everything's good there.
But I don't know why I have level 50
Navigation,
TP
TAD,
in red.
saddle, IGI, AAP, and CDU all happy and set up as desired and required. Flight plan sequencing set to manual if need be, which we'll discuss later.
Let's just make a turn
Warning, autopilot.
onto orbit. TAD, saddle, AGI, AAP, and CDU. Yeah, that's all set.
Roger, I'll get there. Tom, radio's configured as needed, frequency set.
Yep.
Check. And finally, emitters, exterior lights off, TACAN off, and that's it. Usually the lead will call fence in and state his or her fuel. Each person then will report when fenced in and state their fuel only if they are more than 500 pounds plus or minus from what lead calls their fuel mass.
Sure, fenced in 9-2.
Roger, lead is fenced in. Fly us to Tier 7, set up an orbit once
Let's put it in nav mode for now. Going to 7, there we're gonna put an orbit. Why am I descending? Let's climb to 14,000 feet.
Alright, let's anchor here. Enter an orbit for me, please, and let me know when you're ready to talk about our tasking for today.
I'm gonna put my orbits altitude hold 30 degrees.
One is ready. Cool. Up off the nose you see a lake bed. Notice that it's orientated north to south and that it's narrow in the middle and has two distinct bulges on the ends, making it resemble a dog bone.
Yeah.
Pretty creative. I thought so. Today we'll be working on the northern end. On the eastern edge of that northern bulge, you'll see some roads coming off towards the east. 1 mile down that road it stops, and there you'll find the target we're going to be working today, the main battle pit. That T-55 is going to have triple stacked containers bracketing it to the north, south, east, and west to help you find it. Again, the tank in the middle of those is our target, not the containers.
Okay.
I think I can manage. Shoot the tank, not the containers, right? A-firm, but since we're up here in a stable orbit, let's go ahead and look at what we can do with the gun and some other stuff in the IFFC menu. When ready, place the IFFC switch into the test position. Once you've done that, scroll down to Weapons and hit Enter on the UFC. Let me know when you're there.
Oh. Enter.
Okay, I'm on a page that says Weapons at the top and then 30 Mike Mike Tango Papa. Good deal. Make sure the carrot is next to your 30 Mike Mike and hit Enter one more time on the UFC for me, please. This should now put us into the IFFC 30 mil page.
Copy.
Alright, I'm there. Starting from the top, we can see options for type of ammo, manufacturer, pack, minimum altitude, remaining rounds, round counter reset, and a store or save option. Today, we're only concerned with the minimum altitude. Scroll down to it and adjust it to 5,100 feet using the data rocker on the UFC. Note that it is adjustable in 100-foot increments and that it is in mean sea level, not AGL. Our target's elevation is about 3,600 feet MSL. Putting that 5,100 feet into the IFFC should give us indications for the 1,500-foot AGL-4 that we're looking for. When you're done, scroll down to Store and hit Enter.
Oh, 5,100. Try that one again. Enter. Enter. 5,100. Okay. Store. Enter.
go ahead and scroll down and hit exit for me. This should put us back into the FC main menu. Let me know when you're there. Alright, I'm back at the main menu. The last thing we're going to mess with in the IFFCC today is going to be the CCIP Gun Cross occult. Setting this to N for no will keep things like a C marker from being obstructed by the gun cross. This is handy if you're trying to gun something that's hard to see but you have a C on it, like an asshole with a man pad standing on the edge of a tree line or something. I'll leave it up to you if you want to use it today or not. You ready to have a look at it though?
Definitely. Gun Cross occult. Set it to none. When am I doing this?
Still in the main menu and I'm ready. Scroll down to display modes and hit enter for me. You're now in the display mode menu page. Here you see all kinds of things, but what we're interested in is second from the top. CCIP Gun Cross occult. Scroll to it and hit the data rocker switch to cycle it to N. Hit exit when done, and Bob's your uncle.
There's no need to save it or anything?
Nope, not in the display mode page. If you're interested, you can set up some of the options in there to your liking. I usually fly with the rat owl tape on, for instance.
Cool. Thank you.
And now for a word on range etiquette. As I'm sure you already know, range procedures are pretty important. Each range has different restrictions on what we can do there and how we can do it. On some ranges, we may not be able to shoot HEI, or we may not be able to use the laser. On some, they may have moving targets and even shoot Smoky Sams up at us. The ranges here are pretty liberal with what we can and can't do, which allows for a lot of flexibility. We'll be using a few different ranges around the NCTR because of what each range offers. One is going to be closer to Creech, where we'll do some hot pits. Some of the others offer different targets and threats that we can practice against. Today we'll be on Dogbone Lake. There's one just to the north of it called 61 Bravo, and one to the north of Creech called Fat.
That's hilarious.
It's pretty ridiculous. Anyway, sometimes we'll have a range control officer or RCO down there who we'll coordinate with. Oh, and there's supposed to be a JTAC unit coming through at some point that hopefully we'll get to work with.
That'd be awesome if it happens.
Yeah, it would be a great training opportunity for all involved. It should go without saying, but just in case, if we're up here working with an RCO, JTAC, or any other controlling entity, we have to abide by their directions and restrictions. All of the coordination and planning should be done days prior to the sortie. We should step with a pretty solid game plan on what we're going to be doing, who is going to be there, and how we're going to be doing it. Just like anything else, though, shit does change from time to time. The RCO will give us a heads up on any changes to the game plan. Just make sure if he gives you a final attack heading that you fly that damn heading, or anything else they tell you to do.
Roger.
Range usage is coordinated through options into Blackjack as part of the flying schedule. Blackjack should give us range clearance when they give us entry into the NCTR just like they did today. They should tell us what range we're cleared on, what times we're good for, and if there's any other applicable information that we might want to know about. Like the helicopter traffic to our north we got earlier with our range entry clearance. For shit like what we're doing today, we're just going to go up here and practice some initial weapon stuff. We'll keep all the restrictions pretty simple. We'll have a final attack heading, but we'll keep it simplifying either patterns around the range, or just egressing back to the holes before our attack. Nothing fancy until we get some of this shit nailed down.
Sounds pretty reasonable.
The last thing we need to do before we get started today is to let Blackjack know that we're pushing over to the range freak, and make a call on that freak, letting know any traffic in the area that we're here, and that we're going to be using it. We'll monitor that frequency until we're done here, then we'll pop back over to 377.8 and recontact Blackjack. Go ahead, let Blackjack know, then push 234.25
Oh, Dogbone, the range 234.25. Okay. Blackjack.
Blackjack, Sub 2 is on station at Dogbone. Switching to the range 3.
Just 2, Blackjack copies. Have fun.
Okay. Dogbone 234.25. Two, 234.25.
Push range frequency. Right, jump up. Dogbone traffic, Sub 2 is on 67 miles to the south. Gun run southbound. How was that? Well, I got the point across, so I'd say good enough. Moving on. When you're ready, go ahead, drop down, have a look at the target area. It should be waypoint 9 on the CDU. We're cleared all the way down to 500 feet AGL, so get as low as you need, so long as you stay above that. I'm going to orbit up here. When you're comfortable with the range and you're ready
500
to get with it, let me know.
AGL. Let's put that one in. 500 AGL. Okay, that's there already. Oh, let my targeting pod have a look. It should be make a 10 degree. Okay. So there is the tank. There's 3 containers, 3 containers, 3 containers on this side. There's no containers on the south. Okay. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
Lead is visual on the target, ready to set up for an attack. Alright, real quick before I clear you in, let's talk about the CCIP Gun Reticle, which I forgot earlier. Come on, dude. I know, dude. Sorry to be a cock tease, but we need to go over it. So, CCIP Gun Reticle is the default reticle for the gun, and it offers the most information. Go ahead and ensure that you're in guns master mode and get yourself into an altitude where you can see it as we talk about it. Something like 4,000 feet AGL should work nice.
Okay, and let's go to 4,000 and circle around the tower over there. Let's first put a mark point there. Mark point A is on the target. So I have a mark point and a steer point there. Okay. Let's descend. AGL, he said. Let's these mountains are gonna be in the way, so I have to be on that side. to guns. Okay. Let's send more. Slow down. Let's go to 4000 AGL. Wait. We are on 2000 radar. So let's stay. It's a bit too low if I go another 1000, I think. Let's see what happens when I'm on 1000. Okay. Oh, this is. I think this is what he meant. Okay.
Alright, I'm set and ready to press. Looking at the reticle and working our way inward, we have a circle with lines extending out of it from 12, 9, 6, and 3 o'clock. These lines are ranging marks that when used as the analog range bar, which is the inner circle, indicate 12, 9, 6, and 3,000 foot slant ranges. As you close inside of the 12,000 foot mark, the analog range bar will unwind in a counterclockwise direction.
And the ITT.
The vertical marks just inside of the analog range bar at 3 and 9 o'clock are your moving target index marks. These indicate the proper offset to hit a vehicle moving at 20 knots perpendicular to your flight path. Finally, in the center we have the pipper, which of course is where our bullet should impact. Just put the thing on the thing and squeeze the trigger. With me so far?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yep, hanging on every word. As you should be. I forgot to mention it, and it should be noted that when you are carrying combat mix, you will see 2 pipper dots in the center of the reticle. One of these indicates where your HEI rounds will land, and the other is where the API bullets are going. The API has a flatter trajectory, so it will be the upper dot. And as you close in, those 2 dots eventually will coalesce. Noted. The last 2 things we're going to go over on the CCIP Gun Reticle are the minimum range cue and the digital range indication. At the bottom of the reticle, you can see a digital number. This is the slant range from the muzzle to wherever the pipper is. Take notice that the range bar is in feet and the range at the bottom is in miles. We don't really like shooting anything outside of 2 miles, which I'm sure is the same as when you flew the Alpha.
Okay.
Yep, that's unchanged. Yeah, the gun system is pretty much unchanged. I think there's some difference in the vents on the nose, and the cyclic is now locked at 3,900 rounds per minute. No more of the high-low cyclic. The cyclic was fixed rate at 3,900 still when I flew the Hog before, but yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, okay. Well, on to the minimum range view. So, the MRC is going to use that 1,500 feet AGL we put in the IFT earlier as its minimum range. When you input anything other than 0 into the minimum range, you're going to get that minimum range cue off the right-hand side of the reticle. It'll start about level with the top of the reticle and fall to the bottom. Its position is a visual indication as to how close you are to the minimum recovery
Altitude.
When it's nailed to the top, you are more than 5 seconds from your set min out. Once you get to 5 seconds out of it, it will start to fall. As it passes the reticle's 3 o'clock, you are at the minimum altitude. And when it falls to the bottom, you are more than 5 seconds past the min out. Got it?
Let's just put an minimum range queue. It's going to use that 1500 AGL we put into the IFFCC earlier. When you input anything other than 0 into your minimum range, you're going to get a minimum range queue off the right hand side of the reticle. I'm not getting it. It will start up about level with the top of the reticle and fall to the bottom. Let's have a look again. Minimum altitude 1500, so that's there. Start up about level with the top of the reticle and fall to the bottom. I didn't get that the other time. Position is a visual indication as to how close you are to the minimum. When it's nailed to the top, you are more than 5 seconds from the set min altitude. Once you get to 5 seconds out, it will start to fall. Passes through the reticle, 3 o'clock, you are at the minimum altitude. When it falls to the bottom, you are more than 5 seconds past the minimum altitude. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. At the top, you're good. It starts falling inside of 5 seconds to your preset minimum range. At 3 o'clock, you are at the minimum, and anything below that, you busted the minimum.
Warning, autopilot.
So let's just see.
Exactly. Let me get up on my soapbox here before I clear you hot. Oh, yeah.
Let's just see if I see it.
I'm sure you've heard it a million times before, and you'll hear it again after me. It is damn easy to use target fixation when you're on the trigger. Kill too
not
many
getting
guys,
any
and it will
minimum
kill
race.
more. Don't be that guy. Use all the tools the jet offers you to avoid that.
Altitude,
Hell,
altitude.
There are 3 things in the CCIP Gun Reticle
Pull up, pull up.
should help mitigate that risk. You've got the analog range bar, the minimum range Q, and the digital range at the bottom. Use those things and pay attention to them. Know when it's time to come off drive, the path goes to shit.
I'm not getting the minimum range queue.
Understood. One of the brothers I was at DM with damn near went in. He smoked some cactuses with the tail pulling out. Both the horizontal and vertical stabs were all chewed up on the leading edges. That did not go over too well. Yeah, I'd imagine not. At least he walked away and brought the jet home more or less in one piece. A lot of guys don't. On the positive note, I ran out of shit to talk about for the moment. Ready to gun some Russian armor?
Altitude, altitude.
Okay, I'm not getting a minimum range queue. But
Shit, yeah.
gonna shoot some.
Okay, I'll act as a half-assed RCO since it's been a minute for you, and it's your first time here at Dogbone. Let's try and keep our passes resembling something like a landing pattern, with an upwind, downwind, crosswind, and base leg. Keep your final attack heading east to west for 270, plus or minus 30 degrees. So flying attack heading somewhere between 240 and 300. Then come off to the right or back to the north. Sound good?
Yep, sounds good. Upwind, downwind, crosswind and base. Keep your final east to west. So let Means I'm gonna run in. Off to the north. So I'm going to enter what's the altitude that we have to be on?
You have control. Final attack headings to the west. Right-hand pattern, so egress north initially. Tusk 2-1.
To the west. Okay, so
Read
we're
that correct.
coming over the
Make a few
mountains.
passes to save about 800 rounds or so we can look at some of the other rec tools. And you're cleared hot, when ready. Tusk 2-1's cleared, though. Stop at 800 rounds remaining.
East-west run. Ah, okay. So I'm going to be doing entering the crosswind here. Crosswind to the north. Okay. Downwind for 30 mag. Let's get a little bit of distance. Okay. Base. I'm gonna make a hook onto the final attack heading.
Tusk 2-1 is in from the east.
Okay.
Pull up, pull up.
Off. To leave at least 800 rounds. Okay. Let's go for the downwind. Okay, let's try once more. Base. Okay. In hot.
Pull up, pull up.
Why is he there? Is it
Pull
the
up,
shadow?
pull up. Altitude, altitude. Pull up. Pull up.
Let's go off north. Sorry, this was really ugly. He distracted me. What is he doing? Let's go to the downwind for 30 mag back. There's a bunker over here. Okay.
Altitude, altitude.
Turn base. Okay, in hot. $150 rounds, so
Pull up.
there
Pull
we
up.
go. 1.5.
Pull up. Pull up. Altitude, altitude.
There we go. Climb. North. Okay. Options. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
Alright, I'm near 800 rounds left, so let's talk about some of the other reticles.
Let's go to downwind.
Moving on then, we'll next talk about the CCIP Gun Cross. Make sure the HUD is soy and hit DMS right short for me once, please. This should change the gun reticle to the cross. Set up for that roughly 6,000 feet MSL hold, and let me know when you're ready to look at this a little bit more closely.
Okay, let's put it in hold. Oh. What's going on? Options. 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 Take 10. Take 1.
Alright, looks like I've got the CCIP Gun Cross up now.
Have a look.
As you can see right off the bat, this cross
Warning,
takes up a
autopilot.
lot less real estate in the HUD
Yeah, there
versus
it
the gun
is.
reticle at the expense of less information and aiming cues. Depending on the setup, it may be more advantageous to use it since it's less obstructive.
Roger that.
Using this, we obviously lose our analog range bar, but we still have our digital
This is
slant range
shutdown.
in miles displayed at the bottom. We're relegated to using only one pipper, even with combat mix, and we don't have the moving target index line either. We do get to keep our minimum range cue when it's used, and that's about it. So, an X will be displayed in the middle of the gun cross when the solution is out of the HUD's field of view, or when there's no altitude source.
So really, the only claim to fame for this is that it's less intrusive on the HUD than the CCIP Gun Reticle?
Yep, that's pretty much it. But sometimes that in and of itself makes all the difference. Have a go with it so I can check that box and we'll move on to the others. Same thing here, shoot another 350 rounds, and save me about 500 left in the drum.
Okay.
Roger that. Let's stop at or around 500.
Good shit. Same attack restrictions, keep your fire west, cleared hot when ready.
Here we
Final
go.
attack heading from the east. Tusk 2-1.
Let's go for the downwind. Okay. Let's go base. $6,000 feet. Turning base. Let's do this real quick. Okay, here we go. It's almost the HSI is here. It's almost at our 3 o'clock, so in hot. $120. Here's my gun cross.
Pull up, pull up. Altitude, altitude.
Okay, off to the north. Let's turn downwind. $6,000 feet. Let's try this once more. Oh, when you line up. Okay. Okay, base. Options. Take 10. Okay. Turning in. Final attack heading 270. Take 1.
Tusk 2-1 is in from the east.
Pull up, pull up. Pull up, pull up. Altitude, altitude.
Okay, off. 4Gs. Off to the north.
2-1 is off.
Leave 500 rounds so I can, let's make one more run. Downwind for 30 mag mic. Okay, here we go. Turning base. Two G's, 60 degrees angle. There we go. There we go. Turning in. Okay. In hot.
Pull up, pull up.
Turning base. Sorry, turning downwind. Options. Take 10. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
About 500 gun left. I'm happy to move on.
Moving along nicely. For the last two reticles, we'll go over both of them at the same time, since they're not so different, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that sounds great. As long as I get to shoot some more.
You bet. So the last two reticles are the 4A12 gun reticle, and it looks something like the CCIP Gun Reticle. And the other one is the 4,000-foot Gun Cross. This is similar in appearance to the CCIP Gun Cross. First, we'll look at the 4A12 reticle, so soy the HUD and DMS right one time for me to bring up that reticle. Again, it'll look something similar to the CCIP Gun Reticle. When you're ready, let me know, and we'll discuss.
Okay, there we go. Options. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
Okay, I've got it pulled up on the HUD now.
The 4A12 reticle, you'll notice, has 3 dots inside of the reticle. These dots are fixed ranged pippers for, you guessed it, 4,000, 8,000, and 12,000 feet, with 12,000 feet being the bottommost dot. Switch over to the 4,000-foot Gun Cross for me, if you don't mind.
There we go. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
Alright, it's up.
As you can see, the 4,000-foot Gun Cross looks an awful lot like our CCIP Gun Cross, with two differences. We don't have the range numeric, and the upper crosshair does not make a capital T like the CCIP version does.
Oh, I did
Now
the
you're
wrong
probably
one just
wondering,
before.
why the hell do we need these when you have their CCIP counterparts? Well, I'm gonna tell you.
Thank God.
So I
Can't
used,
stand
should
it any
have
longer.
used this one.
Haha. Suppose you don't have accurate ranging information, like if you're shooting at something on a mountain that's actually above your aircraft. In that instance, you're not going to get a valid
So I
or
used the
accurate
4,000
CCIP solution.
before.
This is where you want to use one of these reticles. When you're at a slant range of 12, 8, or 4,000 feet, you know where those rounds are going to impact.
That actually makes sense.
Of course it does. Just make sure you're paying attention, smartass. So, we actually have some targets here that I'd like you to use one of those reticles on. At waypoint 10, you're going to find a bunker near the top of the mountain. Run in from the west this time and put a burst on it. Again, make your final attack heading west to east and come in below the target's altitude.
Coming below
Okay,
the
so
target
final attack heading
altitude.
at 090 and approach from below the target.
Stay firm. You know what? We've got the time. On your first pass, run in from below and try using either the CCIP Gun Cross or the CCIP Gun Reticle. Let me know what happened. You're cleared in dry when ready.
Okay, so, use one of the CCIP reticles. Clear dry for Tusk 2-1.
This is the CCIP Reticle. Let's turn downwind. Standard CCIP circle. I think it's not gonna work. There's the bunker. Okay. Use F10 to report after the attack. Okay. So I'm over the dog bone. Turning base for 30 mag. Descent to 1500 ATL. There we go. Well, let's make it 1000. Okay. Let's go even lower. 500. Let's turn in. To the east. Guns. Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything, which is what is supposed to happen, of course. Off dry. To the south. Options. Take 10. Take 1. CCIP invalid, yeah. Take 2.
Lead is off, and I got a message saying CCIP invalid.
Yeah.
Alright, that's what I wanted you to see. So this next pass, switch over to either the 4.812 Gun Reticle or the 4,000 foot Gun Cross and see how that compares to your pass in CCIP. Save me about 300 rounds on the back end, and you're cleared hot.
Okay.
Save 300 rounds and cleared hot.
Downwind for 30 mag. I'm gonna use my 4000. Okay, on base. Let's descend. To 500 ATL.
Altitude, altitude.
There we go. In. Okay, let's stay low.
Altitude, altitude.
Let's use 400.
Altitude,
Once
altitude.
more.
Pull up, pull up.
Okay, out. Let's make a hook. And then we go for the other, the cross. Okay.
Pull up, pull up. Altitude, altitude.
Let's go 100.
Pull up,
ATL.
pull up.
Let's make a hook. Turn in. Oh, there it is. It was too tight. Correct.
Altitude, altitude. Pull up, pull up.
Here we go.
Pull up, pull up.
Okay, 400 rounds off. Let's go 6,000 feet. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
Okay, attack complete. Alright, return to the hold and we'll talk about a few more aspects of a well-rounded gun path. Let me know once you're established in an orbit at the hold.
Where's the hold? IP. Let's go to IP. I think he doesn't want me to go all the way back to the orbit position, but just to be in the hold. So let's just hold over here. Put it in altitude hold. 10,000 feet. Let's put it in a 30-degree bank. Okay.
Okay, I'm orbiting the hold and ready to press. So now you know how to employ the gun at a basic level. The next part is successfully employing it in a tactical scenario. The parameters of a particular situation can and will dictate how you will attack the target. Should you go in with a high or low angle strafe? How long of a burst? Which aspect would be best for you to attack the target from? The list goes on. In a nutshell, the further away you're shooting, the less accurate the gun is. If you're attacking an area target or soft targets, you can get on the trigger at 2 miles. If you're looking at hitting point targets, you'll want to get a little bit closer if the situation permits. For armor, like main battle tanks, get in as close as you dare. In An ideal path would be a 2-second burst starting at a 4,000-foot slant range. Regardless of where you start shooting, you want to stop shooting at 3,000 feet, or, to quote a friend, you run the risk of flying into your own bullets and or frag, which is usually considered bad form. Slant range is inversely proportional to the bullet's kinetic energy on the target. So, the closer you are to the target, not only do more of your bullets hit where you want them to, but they also hit harder.
Yeah, I got that.
What about dive angle? We typically either use a low angle strafe up to something like 15 degrees and a high angle strafe, which we like to keep between 20 and 45 degree dive angles. We do have a high 60 profile, which is interesting, especially when you blow the roll in and wind up closer to 80 degrees. Many different factors can determine which dive angles you can use. In most scenarios, the high angle strafe is going to be your preferred choice.
Yeah. Low angle or up to something like 15 and high angle 20 to 45. There is a high 60. Many different factors can determine exactly you can use. Most high angle strafe is going to be your preferred. High angle is between 20 and 45, so let's aim for 30.
Roger. Back to shooting in armor. I forgot to mention that it's best to try and gun them from the side, or better yet, the rear, where their armor is thinner, in case you've forgotten that. The GAU is also pretty handy in the anti-personnel role. In this regime, a little round dispersion can be a good thing. So, you may want to employ a long-range, low-angle strafe. Hell, I've even heard of folks turning off packs to better walk the rounds around the target area. Just remember, ROEs, terrain, proximity to friendly, weather condition, and a myriad of other factors can always change how you conduct your attacks. So you may not always be able to employ how you'd like. So just be flexible and ready to adapt.
For sure. I'm sure being fluid in any situation can have huge dividends in the CAS role, or really any other role we may find ourselves in.
Oh, no doubt. In the CAS role, we wind up being that impetus that stirs the change within a fight a lot of the time. That's our goal. We want to remove the enemy from the fight, or at the very least, remove the fight from them. As we do this, the battlefield changes.
So let's just
They
go
may
up
fall back to a
there,
different position,
bunker.
or our guys may react and move forward or flank. We need to be ready and capable to react to any change in the ground situation in a quick and accurate fashion. So yeah, fluidity is
There's
key.
the bunker. Let's go to the
Okay,
target.
enough philosophy for today. Let me get you to execute that 20 degree to 45 degree high angle strafe on that C55 hole that we've been playing with. When would we want to employ that high angle strafe again?
Pretty much always, unless something drives us towards using another method. Yep. Take 10. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
Pretty much always, unless something drives us towards using another method.
That is correct. More often than not, the high angle strafe is our go-to.
Okay, let's look over.
So go ahead and turn inbound, try for a dive angle between 20 and 45 degrees, and give me a 2-second burst at about 4,000.
Okay,
Roger, Tusk 2-1 inbound on P55.
let's do that.
Keep your fires to the west, egress back to the hold, you are cleared hot.
Tusk 2-1.
4,000 feet. What's the note? Check EO time, okay. 4,000 feet, 30 degree down angle, 2-second burst. Let's go to the target. Turn in. Above dog bone. Let's start at 5,000 base. No. To the west, he wanted me. Okay. Options. Options. Okay, so he's waiting for me to do my run in. Let's go downwind for 30 Mike. Okay. Turning base. Wait, too much away, this is not gonna work. Okay, my base is too far away, I have to have a base of let's have a look. Base my 30 degrees should be 5,000, 4,000. I have to be one. Yeah, I have to be 1.5 nautical miles. So I am 4 nautical miles now. So I'm gonna make another turn. Just head towards the target. I think I should just hook over the bunker to get on my base. Oh wait, of course my I'm 1 nautical mile now, so I'm gonna make a descending hook turn to get to 5,000.
Alright, the last thing we need to cover for today is the Low Angle Strafe. Ready to give it a shot?
I need to wait because I haven't done my thing yet.
Alright then, tip in and give me a gun pass with something near a 15-degree dive angle.
Tusk 2-1 is in on C-55 for a low angle pass.
Tusk 2-1, you're cleared hot, egress back to the hold.
How much am I? 2 miles. Two miles. Okay, in hot. I'm aiming for 30 degrees. 20 degrees.
Pull up, pull up.
Okay, off. Low angle. What's next? How much do I have? I have 350. I'm gonna do another high angle at 30 degrees because this was shit. Okay, turning downwind for 30 back mic. Over the dark. Yeah, okay. Here we go, base. .2, 1.3, here we go. In.
Pull up,
Let's get
pull up.
30.
Altitude, altitude.
Off. Let's circle around the bunker and do my low angle. There we go. Downwind. I'll go just between over there.
Pull up, pull up. Altitude, altitude.
10 degrees, he said, so I'm gonna descend over here.
Altitude, altitude.
There you go.
Pull up, pull up. Pull up, pull up. Pull up, pull up.
There we go. Low angle.
Pull up, pull up.
Off. Let's climb out. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
One's off. Alright, bruh. I think that's all for today. Still have some gun ammo and don't feel like toting it back to Nellis. We still own this range for a little bit longer, so feel free to expend it. So, do you want to RTB and head home, or do you want to make a few more passes?
I'm gonna empty, so I'm gonna make a few more passes. Options. Options. Take 10. Take 2.
I think I'm going to do some more passes. Sounds good, man. Go ahead and do what you need to do. The range is free and you're clear to engage. Just let me know when you're done and ready to RTB.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my this one. Want to get those numbers. They're still not showing. So weird. Okay, I don't know why it's not showing. Should have try to change weapons. Enter minimum altitude. Let's make that 4,000 feet. I don't know what it does. Let's just try it. Okay. Is it gonna show me something now?
Pull up, pull up.
Getting across.
Altitude,
Not
altitude.
getting anything. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Let's turn downwind. Let's empty those 250 rounds.
Altitude, altitude.
Make it a low angle dive.
Pull up, pull up.
There we go.
Pull up, pull up.
Am I empty? 20. Okay. There we go. Options. Options. Why is it not hearing me? Options. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
Yeah, I'm ready to head home now.
To Angel 14 and reference steer 11, MOPA.
Angels 14. MOPA. Let's fence out. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
Roger, turning for steer 11 and looking for Angel 14.
Let's go ahead and fence out since we're leaving the range. Let me know when you're ready to do that.
Yeah. Options. Take 10. Take 1.
Alright, I'm ready to fence out.
Roger. Okay. The first thing we want to do is put the master arm, laser, and gun pack into their respective safe positions.
Okay. Done.
Okay, all free and safe.
Next, put the CMS mode selector dial into the standby position and put the jammer switch into the safe position.
Okay.
Done. Get back into nav master mode and select steer 11. Get the tab up. CDU into flight plan, and anything else you need to do with comm,
into flight
we're going to
plan.
announce that we're leaving the range and then go back to Blackjack, so stand by on that.
Steer. Head up, CDO into flight plan, okay. Let's go like this.
Roger, nav is good. For your emitters, go ahead and get the lights on, TACAN up on 1-2 X-ray for Nellis, and you should be fenced out.
Lights were on already. Put it on steady. Let's put it into collision. Oh wait. There we go.
Lead's fenced out. Cool. Go ahead and make a call on the range freak announcing us leaving the area, and then let Blackjack know we're leaving the range and heading home. Roger, stand by.
Dog on 234.25. Okay.
Traffic, exiting the range. Go to 377.8. I'm there.
3778.
Blackjack, Tusk 2 is departing dogbound for Nellis.
Tusk 2, Blackjack. Roger. Proceed to inform Moapa cleared access to either Elgin or X-ray for discretion.
Direct to Moapa, exit via Elgin or X-ray for Tusk 2.
Where's X-ray?
Did you have fun? Oh, hell yeah. There's nothing like shooting the GAU. I love the smell of the cockpit. It's so badass. It really is. I think you'd be hard-pressed to get on the trigger of a 20-foot-long, 600-pound gun system firing 65 1-foot-long bullets per second and not be grinning ear to ear. I mean, that's putting something like 56 pounds of projectiles on target every second. I can't think of anything more badass than that. For sure. Going back to something we talked about earlier about how armor was centered towards the sides and rear of the tanks. So, back in World War II, the Republic P-47 Thunderbolt, to which the A-10 owes its official name, was used later in the war in the anti-armor role. The 8 Browning Mod Deuce 50 calibers were not great at punching through their armor from any aspect. Sounds like that could have been a problem for something in the anti-tank role. Yep, well, the P-47 drivers figured out they could bounce bullets off of the road and into the soft bellies of the tanks using a low angle strafe and disable tanks that way. Are you making this up? No, I'm being serious. That's what they really did. That's hilarious. One other thing before I forget, I'm going to be taking some leave. The family and I are going to meet up with some friends in Washington State and go hang out. Ah, cool. It'll be nice to get away from this hot-ass weather for a bit. Are you guys going to the coastal part or somewhere else? Yeah, no shit. We're going to coastal Washington to do some fishing and camping. It looks like Lotus is going to jump in my place for your next sortie, which should be over rockets. Right on. She seems pretty squared away. Yeah, she is. She can come across as kind of unassuming, but trust me when I say she's a stone-cold killer. You'll do well to pay attention to what she has to say. I'll do just that.
Tusk 2, Blackjack. Relief fire safe. Contact now at the broadcast 291.725.
Contact approach 291.725 for Tusk 2. See ya.
Let's pop over to 270.1 and grab ATIS real quick. 2.
8 is 270, that one.
Nellis Air Force Base Information Tango, time 2255. Winds calm. Visibility greater than 10 miles. Scattered 7,000 feet.
I've got ATIS and I'm back over on approach when you're ready to hit them up.
Altimeter 302.
Raj, stand by.
Runway 03 left, 03 right. Expect visual approach. Acknowledge receipt of information Tango and advise aircraft type on first contact. Nellis Air Force Base Information
Approach.
Tango, time 2255.
291. Seven to 5. Options. Take 10. Take 2. Take 2. Take 2.
Nellis approach. Tusk 2 with you to the west of Malapa with information Tango. Inbound for the visual. Full stop.
Tusk 2, radar contact. Tango is current. Continue inbound for Nellis. Expect the visual for 21 left.
Continue inbound for Tusk 2.
Let's just overfly the steer point. Not to miss any. No, I didn't. Okay, let's try it again.
Tusk 2-2, orbit for spacing 10 miles out, please.
Tusk 2 copies. 2-2 will orbit at the truck stop.
Orbit at the truck stop, so we're gonna turn
Yes,
here.
technology, copy that, please.
Overfly
Hold at the truck stop
11.
as per usual.
Yep.
Wapa. And then we head for the truck stop. Oh, I understand what I did wrong. I changed it to manual. Let's head to the truck stop. Send 5,000 feet. Right? Not. Let's see. Yep, 5,000 feet. 700 ITT. Almost hitting the truck stop, where I'm gonna put it in a hold. Okay. Now what are we doing? Options. Do we have to wait? I don't remember getting clearance. Okay. There's two. It's under me. Above me. $291.75. I'm going to head in. One left. Didn't get any landing clearance. Now let's approach. 291.75. Options.
Contact tower, V27.70. Good day.
Subtitle, switching to tower. See ya.
327.7.
Dallas Tower, Subtitle 1.
tower, winds calm, clear to land runway 21
Gear
left,
down.
report gear down. Clear to land, 21 left, gear down, Tusk 21.
Let's put some brakes in. To get my flaps. Okay. Landing lights.
Altitude, altitude.
Let's go for 130. 120. Okay. Lower my speed. Okay. Idle. Flare. Okay. Slow.
Tusk 21 tower, vacate at Alpha, contact ground when able.
Vacate Alpha.
Vacate at Alpha and contact ground, Tusk.
Contact ground 275.8. Oh, keep my head up. So I am not gonna do that anymore. Okay, brake. 275.4.8. Okay. Options. He's waiting for me to cross the...
Ground Tusk 21 is at 21 left and Alpha looking to taxi back to Thunder. Tusk 21, taxi to Thunder via Alpha Golf Charlie. Welcome back.
Okay,
Alpha
I'm
Golf
gonna
Charlie,
this
Tusk
kit.
21. Yeah, alright. I'm taxiing back for Thunder. Cool. I'll be down in a bit, man. Catch up with you later. Roger.
Did they take anything off? No, they're still there. It's still doing. No, I don't. Okay. this time I'm not going behind, because it looks too tight over there. But these things, Jesus. So I'm just gonna be like this. And he's performing a missed approach again. So I'm gonna shut it down.